Alrighty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another weekly update. Hope everybody had a lovely weekend, having a lovely Sunday. And with that being said, let's get into the TA. Guys, we got an exciting week ahead of us. There's no denying that one whatsoever. We closed at a very interesting spot on a bunch of tickers. We're going to be going over that in today's video. All right. So we're going to kick things off with QQQ here. And I'm going to point out you did close out right on the 0.618 fib as well as this uptrend. Now we're going to come over here to the weekly chart. I'm just going to say this is not the most bullish look we got going on over here, considering, you had a big fat green bar followed by, we're going to call this like a dark cloud. I think it's called the dark cloud cover, right? Which, typically is a reversal pattern. I'm just letting you know. All right, but I am going to point out here on the daily time frame, we are at, a pivotal spot here. You closed right here at the 0.618 fib. That is, what we were looking for if these levels up here did not hold. All right, under 501.01, we knew, next spot was just going to be the, 0.618 fib here. You are right here on this trend line, which happens to be the lower trend line of this giant, rising wedge pattern right here. I'm just going to point out what happens when you break down under, your uptrends here. Bad things, okay? Bad things can start to happen. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. So I'm not gonna really say if we're gonna break down from here or not. I'm just gonna say we're gonna cover both scenarios here in this video. And before we go any further, I do think we are going to be getting a 2 to 4% bounce from Friday's low on the Nasdaq. All right, so I'm actually just going to come right over there and I'm going to point out, the only reason I think that's going to happen is because the 4-hour RSI hit a spot where even if we're going to go lower, we typically do see, a decent sized bounce from there. All right, you went a little lower. Oh, what happened? You had a 2.8% bounce. You got pretty close to it over here, pretty quick. You snapped back. Going to call that a 3% bounce. You got over here. Yes, we went lower, guys. All right, I'm not denying that one. You went, 0.4% lower, but what happened, within a week, 3.5% bounce. Okay. What happened over here, right? And now this is why I want to talk about it. If we do decide to sell this week and we don't get any bounce, all right, do not sit here saying, oh, Henry, you're wrong, because we're going to cover both scenarios here. Okay. We're traders. We're going to act accordingly. We're not just going to be emotional little people on these charts. Okay, guys? If we decide to continue selling for the, beginning of the week or even the whole week, we are still going to look for that bounce, and then we're going to look for a major bounce, okay? So even at the end of the day, when you still just fell flat on your face the following 2 trading sessions, 2 to 3 trading sessions, that says 2 days and 20 hours right there, all right? You see it just like I can right there, okay? I marked it from where we are when the RSI 4-hour chart hit oversold exactly where we are right here, 1950. Okay, that's where we had the low on Friday. Well, it took some time, but you can see 8 days there. I'm going to guess that's 5 to 6 trading sessions right there. You still ended up finding a 2% bounce, consolidated, and as we saw, this was actually, the low before a, relatively decent sized rally here. All right, so, minimum, we're looking for that 2 to 4% bounce from that Friday's low. I don't care if you go a little lower, okay? I'm speaking specifically on Friday's low. You can go back and, we can even go back into the bear market. We're still going to have similar results over here. You got pretty close over here. All right. And, you got that decent sized bounce. Guys, things do not go straight down. They don't go straight up. They don't go straight down. All right. From right here, you still did, decline for the next whole week. But then, you came back. You were up, almost 1% there on the following week. Okay. And then you did start a bigger bounce. I'm not saying that, it's going to play out exactly this. I don't know how it's going to play out. You don't know how it's going to play out. What we do know is we called the VIX spike before it happened. Okay. So I hope you guys were prepared. I, definitely gave my fair share of reminders to take them profits because we had a straight impulsive move up that, probably put some money in your pocket. And it's not the worst it did to take that off the table when it comes, because we were so far extended from those 9-period moving averages on the daily time frame that it was very likely we were going to pull back. I apologize. That hurt my ears. It probably hurt your ears. My bad. We actually got a good amount of alerts. It looks like they're all going to hit. So let's go ahead and take those off over here. Where is the Dow? Where is the Dow? There is the Dow. I know you're about to hit. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Thank you. Don't hit my ear. Don't hit your ear. Don't hit his ear. Don't hit our ears. There you go. We have one on NQ. Yeah, we do. We will take these guys off for you guys. Oh, jeez. Jeez Louise, I knew these lower lines were about to hit. My bad. I forgot to take them off. There you go. All right. So, as you can see on Nasdaq, we are up about 0.6% over here to start off the Sunday session. Okay. So, we already did start getting that. We had closed out with a bunch of 15-minute bullish divergences over here on, QQQ, SPY, IWM, DIA, the major indices. As you can see here, just like, QQ, we're right here in the golden pocket. We're bouncing back. I'm thinking we're going to come and retest this area, which, from where we closed out, that's going to still be, a 1 to 2% bounce that we're looking for. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. From that low, I'm looking for about 2%. I'm thinking it's going to happen to start the week. That would be picture perfect. Okay. So that's really all I'm looking for right there. Let's actually come over here to NQ. Now we're looking over there, eh? What are we doing right now, eh? And now look at too shabby. Now look at too shabby. Let's see on the 15-minute time frame. All right. I'm guessing you're probably going to get bought up here and head up to new high. But, we're just going to leave it alone for now. We got a little piece of the pie. I'm going to leave it alone heading into tomorrow. Got a little head start. And that's pretty much it. All right. Low liquidity. If you're not trading the New York session, I'm just going to say it's definitely going to be lower liquidity. You might as well wait for the open and go with that. Okay, the New York session when you're going to have the most active traders out and about. Okay, which means price is going to have the most volatility, which means you're probably, if you're trading off a technical analysis, you're going to have the best time during that. So you might as well wait. All right, sometimes we get antsy, but as you can see right here, we are at a literal pivotal spot right here. Trend line support, 0.618 fib support. Typically when we come under here, we at least come to retest these short-term moving averages. So I'm thinking that is going to be the case. And that's really what I'm looking for going into the week. Now let's go over support and resistance here. All right. Of course, we have the 0.618 fib below. We're going to have this gap down at 492.88. I assume if we go a little lower to start off the week, we're probably going to find buyers somewhere over here and then get a, bounce off that, But again, what I showed you on that 4-hour RSI on NQ, you can come back and you can go back a pretty long time. You can even enter a bear market. You're going to have similar results. There's not many times where this thing was hit over here where you didn't start, getting a decent sized bounce here, right? Well, now we're still in 2024, but what happens when we go, all the way back here? Like you hit it right around, we're going to say, right here, okay? It was on this low right there. All right, you did go a little lower. Then you also went a little higher, and it took some time. But at the end of the day, you did end up just kind of consolidating down here. What I'm pointing out is there's no reason to panic. When we see that, we're either gonna bounce right back, or we're gonna be putting in that divergence, and then that's gonna set you up for a bigger bounce. All right, so I'm looking for a recovery from where we just were. I'm not looking for things to just straight up sell down here. You got to go really back to see this condition fail. And, it really doesn't. You hit this spot. This is your bear market over here, guys. We had a lot of volatility in the bear market. You hit it over here. You went a little lower and you still got that 2% bounce. What happened over here? Okay. Not 2%, 1.78%. All right. And at the end of the day, you did go lower, but then you look at that. There's, 2 to 3 weeks right there. Still went higher. So it's no reason to panic on this. All right. So, I'm just going to say, I think December and January calls, they are going to do well. I would say January would be safe just in case, like, what if you get that scenario? It eats away at your contracts, all right? And then by the time you get there, maybe you're break even. You don't want that, okay? You don't want that. So maybe you go with January and, only like 1/6 to 1/4, we'll say, of your contract gets eaten during this time period. And this, keep in mind, this was your bear market where you just sat there for, what is this? A straight 2 weeks here, well, not 2 weeks, week and a half there, just literally carving out your divergence, and then boom, you do that. So just keep this stuff in mind, all right? Don't just think I'm saying it's going to go straight up here. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm just pointing out every time this got hit, you either went a little lower, carving out these divergences, okay, or you just started to bounce. Okay, here, you went a little lower, start the week there, and then boom, you would have still wound up a percent right there. Nasdaq getting bought up aggressively. Look at that bad boy go. All right, you go a little lower. Okay, I understand. But what happens 2 weeks down the line? You're up 5%. All right, so I don't think we're about to fall off a cliff here. That's what I'm getting at here. And, even if we are going to fall off a cliff like something like that, we're probably going to be getting that 2 to 4% bounce beforehand. So, I say dip equals buying opportunity right now. I'm liking what I'm seeing on these charts. Okay. And keep in mind, this is 2022, guys. This is your bear market. That's when things were most aggressive on the downside. And you still got these aggressive bounces along the way. So, I think we're probably going to have a little reversion to the mean action right up here. And, I don't know how high this bounce goes. I really have absolutely no idea. We're coming over the daily time frame. I think we're probably going to test this daily 9. Okay. And then maybe go lower. Maybe it's something like that action. Okay. Something like that. All right. So let's go over some levels over here on QQQ. Downside, you're watching 492.88. Watch 490. 491 pretty much. That is going to be your 0.618 fib. And underneath there, we're just going to be paying attention to 484. It's technically over here, but we're going to use that. You can see, buyers, they stepped in after the fact and gapped you up over there. Over here, you can see they stepped in intraday. So I'm going to call that the stronger level there. 484.25 if 491 is taken out this week. On the upside, we are going to have 501.01, 503.52, 506.41. Okay, which was this previous gap that just kind of got demolished. You just had an island reversal through it. And then this is going to be strong spot, 508.34. All right, and what would that align with, guys? Yes, you guessed it. If you guessed it, golden pocket right there. All right, so I would say this is going to be the strong spot. That's where you had an island reversal off of. You actually had an island reversal right here in between these little consolidation bars right there. You ranged out there, and then boom, we had this range. We knew an impulsive move was coming out of this range. We were probably not going to be staying in it much longer than this 4 trading sessions. What happened? We said it on this day. You started breaking down the next day. You fell off a cliff, all right? We had some context clues coming into that, and that was Mr. VIX over here being at the bottom of our zone. And, unless the S&P 500 was about to start up a, 5 to 10% bounce, which I said I don't think is probable, like over here, every other time you've bounced here on Mr. VIX. Now, what happens when you pair that with the right, structure you got going on? People say you can't do TA and VIX. Guys, I've been doing TA and VIX for years. I promise it works. That's the only reason I looked for volatility here was because of how, VIX was setting up in comparison to over there. You had the 4-hour bullish divergences building out here. It was likely to pop right from here, from the bottom of our heavily traded zone. All right. And now where do you reject? The 21, guys. So, I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing, pull back a little bit, consolidate. Maybe it spikes after, guys. But, at the end of the day, I think we have a lot of these charts set up to have a little bouncy action. Okay. Now, coming over here to SPY, guys, you closed out right where we were looking for buyers. This is the 21 daily moving average. Right over here, guys, this is where you typically will start seeing buyers step in if they're going to step in. So we're going to see what happens here. Okay, we will see what happens. If you go a little lower, we're going to be at least looking for that dead cat bounce action right over here in the golden pocket starting at 580. All right, so lose 583.32 on the downside. You're going to have 580 to pay attention to, and then you will have this gap down there. Just make it real clear for us with a green line, 576.74. You lose, excuse me. By the way, guys, the lemon Quest bars, new favorite Quest bars. Those are like, really good lemon cake Quest bars. All right, you lose 574.80. We're looking at 567.89. Okay. Now on the upside as resistance, which I already know we're above there in futures. Okay. But it's going to be 586.12. 590.20 is gap resistance, and then you have the gap fill up at 592.65. And then you have 594.37, 597.6, and then 617. Not saying we get all the way back up there. I know we had a volatile week to the downside there, and that's only 2% away. But just don't expect to know what happens here. I think we probably are going to get a Santa Claus rally like mostly every year here. I'm not saying it starts up right now. It could, sell into December and then we get it, mid-December or something like that. Who knows? So don't try and predict this thing, just like we were trying to do up here. Don't try and do it. We knew this dip was likely to be a buying opportunity. We pounced on it. I supported you guys pouncing on it. No financial advice on this channel, but I support. And then I also supported taking profits into this move. Guess what, guys? You're now getting reversion to the mean. This is exactly what we're talking about when you're sitting here, 2% away from the short-term moving average. Okay. reversion to the mean. It was extremely likely to happen. We had so many of these things just flying high in the sky. And now we got that reversion to the mean. We got a bunch of break and retests. Actually, we got a bunch of golden pocket tests. I like what I'm seeing right now. Okay. We could put on extended hours over here. That's what I use, the futures for over there. But, look at this. Look at this perfect reaction to our zone. 4 hour size, in a spot where it typically starts bouncing back from. Okay. Doesn't have to bounce back just yet. But, I don't think we're going much lower, guys, before you get a decent bounce or you start that decent bounce. That's what I'm saying here. And I'm not a perm bull. We were calling the sell before it happened. We were saying that was like a scenario with VIX spiking. What happened? VIX is now spiked. Now we've gotten that, guys. All right. Don't turn into, someone who's just looking for the market to crash. Don't do it. All right. Don't do it. You're not going to have a good time. Come down here, expect buyers. Either here or here, they're about to step up. So that's buy for you. And, on the weekly time frame, this is the one that's not looking too bad at all. We were saying when you were flying high in the sky up there that this was the obvious spot to come and retest because this is where the most recent structure was. You kind of just shot up into a new all-time high all at once with almost a 5% week. This is your reversion to the mean, to your structure. I really like how things are looking right now. All right, so that's SPY over there. IWM, now this is something I really like the look of. I know it looks so ugly here with this weekly candlestick. But, as you can see, you're pulling back. I'll come over the weekly chart again. Pulling back into the weekly 9. I don't know if you can see that blue line right there. All right, but you're pulling back into that thing. That's something that, oftentimes provides support there. But, I like the confluence here that we can see on the daily time frame. And, same thing I was just doing on SPY, put on extended hours. Guys, we're already down here, okay? On the same kind of spot that we were bouncing back up before. We also have a hidden bullish divergence going on here, which I'll point out on 2 other charts I'm noticing it on. You have the higher high, you have the lower low over here. I think this is very likely to bounce back from here. I'm just putting it out. It looks extremely obvious to me. You're pulling back, break and retest, big break and retest. You've been waiting on this one for a while. I doubt it's just going to last that long. Okay, I understand after that move, you gave the whole thing back. It can't happen. I don't think it's going to happen, but it can. All right, if you lose 222.90, look for a move down here to 217.63. And then maybe we are going to, retrace the whole move we just had. You find yourself back at 214. And, I think this is a major buying opportunity down there. You see it, you just load the boat. And we're talking month out calls, like not 1 month, but months out. Okay, I think that'll probably pay. But as of right now, guys, you have break and retest level 226.64. Come a little lower, you're going to have the uptrend test right there. You're also going to have the golden pocket right here, 0.786 fib happens to align right with that uptrend. Odds are in the bull's favor here when you're pulling back into the spot. So I want to see this tested. I don't want to see it just bounce back from here. I think it would be much stronger to see this area tested and then defended, and then you can bounce back. And from there, all right, I don't know how low this thing is going, but golden pocket. Why do you think I have that arrow going right here? 235.65 to 238.49. That's what I'm looking to be tested. I think that is going to be the case. All right. So I'm not going to take up too much of your time here. But I think this is very solid. And the trade ideas I'm going to point out today, they're actually on the main stocks that we cover. All right. So we're going to, go over how to, in my opinion, effectively play these things. Okay. We have Nvidia earnings coming up this Wednesday, I believe. That is going to be a big event. Chips, we're going to talk about that and how, I anticipate playing that one. And just anticipating, price action over there. But as of right here on IWM, guys, we're looking support down here, 226.64. Have 227.618 fib right here. Just look for buyers in between 223 and 227 pretty much. That's your buy zone. You get above there, all right, come back in 227, bounce off there. You're looking for resistance as 229.84, 233.64, 235.65, 238.49. Then we have this high at 242.39, and then the all-time high at 244.46. A lot of words, pretty quick. Sorry if I'm talking too fast. I understand. I do understand. My breath also understands, considering is out. There we go. All right, DIA over here. Well, I told you guys we got a bunch of break and retests looking kind of crazy. All right, we have a ton of them. If you do not hold up here around, 433.20 break and retest, the most recent level right there. Again, we were just calling for a pullback in the structure. You had the daily 9 sitting all the way up here. All right, 2% away, guys. We're probably going to pull back. Probably. All right, you got that into the perfect spot. All right, resistance 237.79, 441.70. Then you could just mark out the high over here at 444.87. So yeah, look for buyers here or down here towards 426.20. That is going to be a key spot down there that has brought some reactions. All right, but as far as this VIX goes over here, guys, like 15-minute time frame, we had the 15-minute bearish divergence. At the same time, we had SPY's bearish divergence or bullish divergence over here. Okay, right there. Right from the zone we were pointing out to pay attention to. That's where you expect the buyers. All right, and then intraday, we called for bounce. I made a Twitter post, guys. Go, click the link down below. Go follow the Twitter if you're not already following it. I was looking for a bounce between 380, which would be right. Take off the magnet. It would be right here to right here. Okay, between 480 and 380, I was looking for buyers to step in. I made a tweet about it intraday. I thought it would bring a couple hundred bounce, a couple 100-point bounce. It did overnight. It did not. We literally sold all day. I can't help what happened there. We only got like a 120-point bounce intraday from what I was calling. It was right here. All right. I was thinking it would at least be a 200-point bounce. You are now seeing that in the after hours. All right. So my apologies. You did not get the whole thing intraday, but you did get 100 points from the spot, that I was calling for. And, just from right here, you still, let's say you just decided to gamble. You just longed right where I was pointing out. Yeah, you sat down to a crap ton of drawdown, but you still ended up 40 points up. So if you were able to stomach the drawdown, there you go. But I don't support any of that. All right, just sitting through that. Have your plan if trading futures. Futures are dangerous. If not, okay, they could be nice, but they could be dangerous. They're leveraged, and yeah, it's not scalps are really the only way I see to play futures, unless you have a massive account and you're swinging these things. But that's not me right now. All right. So I think scalping is really the only way that I'll support, futures trading over here. And I'll do my best to call it, as much as I can over there. You have the private community where you could just come trade futures, and I'll call out scalp opportunities all freaking day. There you go. That is over there down below as well. But that's how I would take the approach to trading futures over there. All right. Now let's talk about some of the big boys, guys. Tessie over here, right at the daily 9. That's where you bounced off of. It was as expected. You were going to pull back into this, either 300 to 313.61. In between there, we were looking for buyers step in. Why? Big weekly spot, both of those. Okay. This was where you pulled back and then sprung up from. And this was just, as you could see, you had 3 equal highs over there. Nasdaq is taking a dump. There you go. All right. But you found buyers there to end the week. And honestly, I think this is my prime, contestant over here to go against the market if it just continues selling. Guys, this thing's probably going to new all-time highs. Elon Musk is a part of the government now and has some say. He's probably going to do things that are going to benefit this business, all right? I don't care about insider trading or anything like that. It could be illegal, but he's probably going to make stuff happen. I think this thing is going above 414.50 over the coming, probably 1 to 2 months. Buying opportunity on this dip. That's Tessie over there. Apple, guys, I'm just going to say watch 230 for resistance over here. It's going to be your 0.618 fib. That's really all you have to pay attention over here in Apple. It was moving against the market as it was selling. You had these big green bars. But as you see, it's now just stuck in consolidation. Not much to talk about over here on the weekly chart. How we looking, guys? Honestly, not looking too bad. Not looking too bad. You found buyers here off the 20. You found buyers here off the 20. And you're finding buyers 3 weeks in a row off the 20 right here. Not looking bad at all. Okay? On the weekly chart. I'm a fan. Now, Amazon, this is one that I do like. All right, guys. In today's video, I'm not going to point out the 10 to 20 trade ideas like I normally do. I'm going to point out how to play the big boys that are all actively traded that definitely are going to be seeing action this week. All right. And first thing I'm going to point out, guys, this is the exact same setup we got to play over here that we called out. This is real sexy here. I know it didn't produce much in the short term here, but from the 0.618 fib, exactly where we were pointing out, that was your buy zone. Okay. You still got a $10 move within like 4 trading sessions, 4, 5, 6 trading sessions, whatever that is. All right. That's valid. Okay. You get that right from here. Guys, you're coming up here to 212. Okay. And what does that happen to align with, guys? Hold the pocket if you beat me to it. Yeah, you're right. Okay. 210. 210 to 212.25, I think will be hit here on this rebound. So, you know, short-term trade idea for you. There you go. Okay. So that's Amazon. If you don't find buyers here, you lose 190, 198.80, we'll call it. Look for retests of 195.37. And then we're just going to be looking for this next golden pocket, which is right down here. All right. So expect buyers at 195.37. Okay. That's what I'm going to be watching. If you cannot hold 198.80, you look for buyers off 195.37. And that's Amazon. Google over here. And actually, I just forgot to realize what I was going to point out. All right. What was I pointing out here? You're on the 4-hour time frame. What was I seeing over here? No, I don't know. It wasn't that one. It was on Google over here. Yep, it was already on Google. My bad. I could have swore I saw it on Amazon. I guess I did not. All right, but you do have the, you know, hidden bullish divergence sitting right here. Okay, higher high with price, lower low with the oscillator. Okay, right as you bounce at the absolute perfect spot. All right, this is right at the 0.786 fib. I'm just saying, take out, you know, Friday's high. We're just going to call it 175.91. That's the key level we were paying attention to over here. You got reaction here, reaction here, reaction here, here. Okay, and we're looking for another one. Get above 175.91. I think you can have a shot at like, you know, short-term move up to 178.42 and then 180.99. I do think you're gonna, you know, move higher as long as this low here at 169.49 holds. I like swings on this guy. I like dated calls over here, and I think they're going to pay. Stop loss 169.49, targeting new high, and then you're going to be targeting new all-time high above there. You could trail that bad boy. All right, so that's Goog over there. Microsoft, how we looking, guys? Also in the golden pocket. Oh, look at that, guys. Look at that. Okay, and, you know, I'm just going to say, this isn't the sexiest looking chart. You've been stuck in this range. Eventually, it's going to break out. But right now, I don't think that's the time. I think we're just going to stay ranging here. So I think it's best to focus on some of the other tickers we're pointing out. All right. So coming over to Meta, you're getting that buying opportunity. All right. I was looking for you to test 542.81. Excuse me, guys. I just ate. I'm sorry. I am sorry. But you know, I was looking for you to test this last week. You didn't. You had a big fat green. Not last week, but you know, the week before that, you didn't. You had a big fat green bar, and I was like, you know, this looks like it's about to shoot up to all-time highs, guys. That did not happen. All right, we were pulling back, and now I'm going to say buying opportunity over here around 542.81. That is the big break and retest we were watching over here. We didn't get it. We thought we weren't going to get it. Now it does look like we're going to get it. All right. Nothing we could do about it, guys. But, you know, I already got the alert there. Set your alert. That's where you want to take action off of this guy. But, you know, daily RSI, it's getting down to, you know, oversold territory already. Okay. So if you go a little lower here, you're going to have, you know, the thing probably queuing up for a big bounce. Now, come over here to SMH, guys. We do have Nvidia earnings. This is something that makes me think we're probably going a little bit lower. I would like to see this test 232 over here. All right, sweep 237, get under there, come a little bit lower. All right, and then the daily RSI is going to be the same spot. It gets all of its bounces in for, you know, years on end here, okay, until, you know, low of the bear market. During the bear market, you also get your bounces here, okay? You know, expect buyers if you continue lower to start the week. That's what I want to talk about. We're going to cover both scenarios here. You either go a little lower and then we get a big bounce, or you're going to at least get your dead cat bounce from where we are. And then I think you might go lower. But, you know, I'm open to whatever. I really am, guys. I really am. But, you know, nonetheless, if you start the week off bearish, it's a buying opportunity across the board. That's, you know, my bias here. Okay. So Nvidia is going to be, let me drink some water actually here real quick. Got a scratchy voice right now. Nice. Nice. All right, guys. So Nvidia over here, you're close right here on that uptrend. And if you come a little lower, you're going to be on the 0.618 fib right there. We're watching 137.46 for a bounce. You're either going to bounce over here or you fail and you die off earnings and you set up for a really big buying opportunity down here. If it gaps down here, people are going to be scared. I'm going to say buy the dip, honestly. Weeklies are probably going to pay so much on that. Premiums are going to get crushed. And then I expect, you know, a big green candlestick to appear from down here. You're going to have the break and retest off this downtrend that you broke out of that sparked this big bullish move here. Okay. And then you also have the retracement here, the 0.618 fib from this whole big move up. Very likely defend this area. You also have a lot of clutter right here. So, you know, we had a lot of price action. We had a lot of market participants. exchanging, shares over here. Yeah, they're probably going to do so again if you come back into that 120 spot. So expect it. But, for the meantime, we're bullish on this guy. I'm thinking with how other things are looking, I'm thinking we either sell, start the week, or and then bounce, back with Nvidia earnings there, or we're going to, get a little dead cat bounce and then see all these things set up with a big Nvidia earnings sell event, and then it sets the market up for that big buying opportunity. Both scenarios are buying opportunities. Look at that. Nasdaq is getting another impulsive move up right now. How's that guy looking for us, guys? How's that guy looking? Not too shabby over here. Not too shabby. Okay? Not bad at all. And I'm also just going to say, those hidden bearish divergence I was showing on Goog, this is kind of the same thing. Higher high with price. This would have been the stop over here. I'm not in this, but, higher high. And then oscillator clears day, made the lower low. And, it looks like it's probably going to run up to a new high. That's what that's telling you. Oh, look at that. We called this 15-minute chart. It looks like it was probably going to get a reaction over here. Push up new high. There's that. I'll get off of the futures for the rest of the video. I'm sorry. I was watching before I made the video. All right. So there's that. But, over here on TSM, guys, I am looking for a big buying opportunity to present itself if we're coming down here. As you can see my arrow, that's what I would like. Okay, but Avgo, this is the one that, I think it's really making me think we're not going much lower over here, guys. I think we're probably, go lower on Monday. Buy Avgo. I'm not, no financial advice, but, C1 6041, I think that's your buy. And I think you're probably going to quickly get sucked back into, the midpoint of this range. That'll be a nice $10 to $15 move for you over here, 10% move. And, I think Avgo is probably the thing, I'm liking the most. The only thing is you have earnings right around the corner. So, it's going to be short-term calls is the move to play a little dead cat bounce action. All right. And take your profits if it comes, because you're going to have to play short-term calls to not get juice premiums on this one. And, if you get something like this and then boom, it gets sucked back down, you're going to be so sad. But, you got a 10% move to play right there, $15 move. You're playing next week's calls, guys, that's paying hundreds of percents. Take your freaking money. All right, take it. All right, give me the money. All right, coming over to AMD, this thing's like a piece of garbage, but we pointed out over here, likely dead cat bounce. You've now sold underneath the low. You've came down to the support we were watching. All right, we pointed this out well in advance over here when you started declining. All right, 133.74. You've now tapped that. That's your major support level, and I won't be, surprised to see buyers start stepping over here. Okay, if you just take the retracement from this whole move, it's right here. Okay, I go golden pocket to golden pocket, guys. One of these is going to get a reaction. If the first one doesn't hold, typically that second one holds. You don't gotta nail everything. You just have to know the picture you're looking at. I know how to read these things at this point, and right here, it's solid shit. You get buyers starting to defend over here. It could be a dead cat bounce, but they're probably going to start stepping in. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. ARM is the one I was pointing out. All right. You pull back into over here. You're either going to find buyers right over here, or hopefully we dip all the way down here. You get the retracement from the whole move. And you get a big buying opportunity. All right. And that's what I'm thinking of setting up over here on ARM. We got a lot of upper levels here. I'm really liking this guy. Watch 122.50. 115 to 122.50. That's your buy zone over here. We'll mark it with a green circle just to make it clear for you. That's your buy zone over here. I think this is top contestant over here for chips, just like TSM and Avgo. There you go. MU, you finally are dipping down and filling these gaps. You're in the golden pocket from this whole move up. All right, so expect buyers between 90.97 gap and the 96.18 gap, which is now filled. That's what I'm looking for. All right, come a little lower. Daily RSI is going to get near oversold. If you start nearing over here, probably you're going to get buyers defending over there. That's my thoughts. Okay, Bitcoin, guys, been consolidating for a while now. This is what we point out. We called out consolidation on this day right here. You did go, decently higher on me. I think we called that around 86K. You did shoot her up to 90K. Okay, I won't deny that. But now you had a straight 40% vertical move. And yeah, all right. Consolidation, this is exactly what we were expecting. Consolidation or a pullback. It was one or the other. But, what we did know is the daily 9 here was going to catch up to price. And that happens one of two ways. That is either going to be with consolidation or price actually pulling back into it. And it meets it halfway. It's one or the other. Okay. Now let's talk about some of these setups that I think the miners are looking great. All right. Riot, first things first. you know, you're either going to hold right here, you're going to do this arrow. Okay. You know, you do have buyers stepping in here with the hammer candlestick. I'm really liking how these miners are setting up. So, you know, on the weekly chart, this thing's looking phenomenal. Okay. You broke out, you came back. Technically, it's a false breakout, but, you know, I'll call it the break and retest. Regardless, you're getting a reaction around this trend line. We really like to see it. Means, you know, boom, boom, candles are right around the corner over here. We already got the start of them. I think we're probably going to get another wave, and it either dips a little lower. This presents a major buying opportunity down here around 10 bucks. All right, I'll just mark out that alert. Okay, or you start bouncing back. Either way, I think buying opportunity. I think this thing's going above 16 bucks from where that is. It's still a decent move. Pull back over here. It's a really decent move. TSLA, same kind of look to you. Pull back, hit it with the hammer candlestick on Friday. Liking the look of this. I'm not liking where you know, pulled back from right there, rejected the 0.786 fib. You know, again, I definitely remind everyone to take the profits. So, you know, I can't really knock any of that, guys. You know, we kind of knew reversion of the mean was extremely likely after we got these straight up vertical moves. It's just bound to happen in the market, guys. Things do not go straight up. They don't go straight down. Now, this one I'm salty about. I really want to pull the trigger heavy on Friday. I didn't over here. Okay. But I like this guy. I really do like this guy. You know, this is the one I was saying that I was kind of hammering the table on the pullback. This is what everyone's going to be buying this stuff on. Okay. Bitcoin's on a bull run and people are FOMOing. This is what they're going to buy it on. Okay. Coinbase. Everyone knows about Coinbase. Doesn't matter if you know about crypto. You know what Coinbase is, maybe. Probably. Okay. And that's kind of the idea over here. Perfect break and retest off of this zone we were paying attention to. 270, 255, 280, 348. Perfect. Okay. I'm looking for a move above 330, again. And then, you know, I'm looking for 368.90 in the short term after that. And then 429.54, I think will be hit. That's coin. MSTR. Okay. I'd like a more of a pullback over here, but you're watching 280.88, 280.80, and then 262-ish. Mara, same look as Riot and CLSK. You got the, you know, hammer candlestick on Friday. Again, buyer stepping in a little early there. I would have liked to see a deeper move down, ideally to 1884. You didn't get it. All right. But, you know, that is the spot that I really like down here in between 1950 and 1884. If we get it, that's where you want to pounce on this guy. That's the retracement from this whole move. All right, guys. So that's really all you know, I want to talk about today. Disney, I think, is going a lot higher. We pointed that one out so far ago. Okay, congrats if anybody played that. I know it was into earnings, but you got the pre-earnings move that, you know, we called so far in advance over here. We called it right here on this day, right there. Why? Because you held that uptrend. That was right on the uptrend. Bull flag coming into, you know, two of those trend lines there. Consolidation was getting tight. What happened? Boom, broke out. All right. I'll point out ASTS. This is an interesting one over here. I like it as long as you're holding last week's low over here, which is going to be 2020. I like it above 2020. I think, you know, you have a solid shot at pushing back up over here. All right. Big gap down on Friday, but I think it's looking like buyers want to send you back up for another, like, you know, 10% or so move at least. Okay. Uber. You did start pushing this downtrend over here. I told you guys I wasn't going to give you trade ideas. I am giving you some trade ideas at the end. So these are some I'm watching into next week, guys. You know, I really do like how Uber's setting up here. I don't think we're coming back down here, but I could be wrong. You know, you're getting tight over here. You're seeing the moving average starting to consolidate there. Break up above 74.99. You probably start pushing 77.14, 78.80, and then maybe 81.25. All right. This is actually ugly. I'm just going to point that out. So I pointed this one out the other day. So I just want to say, I say abandon ship. I don't think this is one anybody should focus on or, you know, risk their money on. Just saying, you know, if you're watching, if you follow my principles here, then you kind of already knew that. But just in case, I'm just going to remind everyone, I say abandon ship over here. Some of these don't work out, guys. It is what it is. And it is what it is. You can't get them all. Upstart, I like where this guy is at. 64.82, perfect spot. Break and retest, as well as the daily 9 test. Pull back into 57.40. I really like it down there. You'll be, you know, right around that uptrend. If you consolidate for a little down here, and that'll probably be the healthiest thing over here after this massive move up. More consolidation like that, and then you get ready for another big move up. All right, RK, you pulled back into the spot, the buy zone we were paying attention to. You know, I'm looking for buyers to defend somewhere over here. I don't want you to get sucked back down into it, but you know, it could happen. And if that does happen, you're watching 49.56. But I like January calls over here. I think they're going to pay. And that is that. All right, so that is what I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please remember to leave a like. All right, it puts a smile on my face, and you know, I like being happy. But it also does put a smile on the YouTube algorithm's face, and you know, it's like, okay, guys, come on, make the party bigger, okay? Bring some more people into the party. All right, so yeah, if you want to put a smile on my face, make me a little happier. Hey, just know if you leave a like, that will be the case. So there's that. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I hope everyone kills it this week. I will catch you guys tomorrow. And with that being said, peace.